In Activity 11, Magnetism, students observe that some objects are attracted to a magnet while others are not. Students first predict which objects will be attracted to the magnet, then test their predictions, and finally classify the objects as magnetic or not magnetic. You will need the following materials from the kit. Activity Sheet 11, magnets, buttons, birthday candles, large paper clips, rubber bands, small washers, insulated wire with stripped ends, wood samples, metal samples, rubber pencil erasers, and sorting trays. You will also need to provide a roll of aluminum foil, scissors, and a metal tack. To prepare for the activity, make a copy of Activity Sheet 11 for each student. Cut 3 cm by 3 cm or larger squares from the roll of aluminum foil. You will need a rubber pencil eraser, a magnet, and a metal tack for a class demonstration. Borrow a magnet from one of the sorting trays, and from the package of metal samples, remove 8 steel strips, one for each team. Note that the package of metal samples also contains 8 brass strips, but only the steel strips are attracted to a magnet. From the package of wood samples, remove 8 wood strips, one for each team. It does not matter which type of wood you use for this activity. Each team of 4 will need the following items in a sorting tray: an aluminum foil square, a button, a birthday candle, a magnet, a large paper clip, a rubber band, a steel strip, a small washer, a piece of wire, and a wood strip. To begin the activity, define the word magnet for the students as an object that sticks to some things. Hold up a metal tack and ask students, what do you think will happen when the magnet is moved towards the tack? Accept all predictions. To demonstrate, place the tack on the table and slowly move the magnet toward it. When the tack and the magnet touch, lift up the magnet with the tack stuck to it and ask students to observe what has happened. Students should express that the tack stuck to the magnet. Then hold up the rubber pencil eraser and ask students what they think will happen when the magnet is moved towards it. To demonstrate, place the eraser on the table and move the magnet toward the eraser until the two are touching. Lift the magnet to show that the eraser is not attached to it. Students should observe that the magnet and the eraser do not stick together. Define the word magnetic for the class based on what students have observed about magnets. Students should understand that while a magnetic object sticks to a magnet, something that is not magnetic will not stick to the magnet. Let students know that in this activity, they will investigate the property of magnetism. Distribute a copy of Activity Sheet 11 to each student and a sorting tray of objects to each team. Allow students time to examine the objects and then have them predict which objects they think will stick to the magnet. Instruct students to record their predictions on their activity sheets and then to test all of the objects with the magnet and to divide the objects into 2 groups, magnetic and not magnetic. Make sure students record their results on their activity sheets by drawing a line from the magnet to each object that it's stuck to. Note that students should test the exposed ends of the insulated wire, not the insulated portion. Next, discuss which objects stuck to the magnet and which objects did not stick to the magnet. Ask students, why do you think only some of the objects stuck to the magnet? What property do the objects that stuck to the magnet have in common? Students may realize that all of the objects that stuck to the magnet were made of metal, and that most of the objects that didn't stick were not made of metal. Finally, ask your students, did all of the metal objects you tested stick to the magnet? Students should suggest that the aluminum foil squares, as well as the wire pieces, did not stick to the magnet. Help your students understand that only certain metals stick to magnets. To conclude the activity, save the aluminum foil squares for Activity 12 and return all materials to the kit. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the science reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.